This is a 12-ounce insulated water bottle. I was sent this to review for free. If you wanted to purchase it, it would cost you about $12. They haven't paid me for my review, and my opinions remain my own. So with the bottle, you get a sticker and a little information sheet here. It says it keeps hot beverages hot up to 12 hours, insulates ice drinks up to 24 hours, ice cubes recommended for better performance. So it has a strap here. It's too small to be used as a wrist strap, but you could potentially put that through a belt, I think. So the lid screws off, and it just has kind of a single super large thread here. It does have this insulating lid where they have the seal down lower into the bottle, so the seal falls below where the double wall insulation starts here. On the bottom here, it says it is dishwasher safe, made of 818 food grade stainless steel, and it says 12 ounces. So if you don't wish to use this little loop, you can remove it from the cap. And so it looks like you could hang this from a belt or anything else that you could put a strap through this little loop. And then you could screw the bottle off the cap, drink from the bottle, and then put the cap back on. I have primarily gotten this because I'm looking for a small water bottle to keep in a small bottle pocket on a backpack or in a car drink cup holder that's not so big it interferes with the cables that come off of my dash. So that fits into my water bottle pocket here pretty well. It pushes this in just a little bit, but if I unzipped the expansion pack here, that would be no problem at all. So this guy meets my needs of fitting in this cup holder without interfering with my charger there. From an opening standpoint, I used to use just like a plastic soda bottle, and this lid is slightly harder to open than a plastic soda bottle lid one-handed, but you can do it. The trick, of course, is that you don't want to tighten it all the way down to get that rubber stopper really tight. So you just barely finger tighten it, and then you can open it up really easily. And since it's, in here, I'm not worried about falling over, but just barely finger tight, it still mostly seals pretty well. So if it falls over or something, it's not going to leak immediately. And the real advantage here is that in the hot car, I can leave this for several hours and it'll still have cool water. Plus, I don't have condensation forming on the outside of it. All right, so the weight empty here is about 8 ounces. It's 7.9 ounces, or 224 grams. So I've measured out 12 ounces of water here. All right, and that 12 ounces goes in there. You could put a little bit more in, but this might start pushing down on it, might come up on the edges. But it looks like there's plenty of room for the lid here, so it definitely does hold the 12-ounce rating. All right, now I'm heating that 12 ounces up for 2 minutes in the microwave. So the water I poured into this guy here is starting off at 160 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to come back in, say, 8 hours, and maybe I'll try 4 hours, 6 hours, and 8 hours. So I poured the hot water into this thermos about 20 minutes ago. And looking at this, you can see that the hottest point on it is 78 degrees Fahrenheit. So ambient temperature in the house is about 70 degrees right now. So this is definitely hotter than ambient up here, but if you compare it to my hand, it's still cooler than my hand. And so the metal bottom part of the thermos here feels cool to the touch. The top part, that's kind of the plastic lid, is just slightly warmer than the metal, but it still feels cool compared to my hand. So there is obviously a little bit of leakage, but if you look at this here, it's pretty even. There's no hot spots other than the lid is just slightly hotter than the rest of it. And that's because that lid is plastic and it doesn't have the vacuum container in there. So there does appear to be very good vacuum insulation in the metal portion of the thermos here. You can see I left a fingerprint of heat on it when I touched it right there. So, you know, the metal there is being warmed up by my hand. After 4 hours, the temperature of the water is 137.5 Fahrenheit. And at 6 hours, the water temperature is 129.4 Fahrenheit. It's been 8 hours and we're down to 122.5 Fahrenheit. So it definitely cools off over an 8-hour time period, but 120 degrees Fahrenheit isn't cool. So, you know, you're definitely getting pretty warm liquid here even after 8 hours. So these are the ice cubes my refrigerator makes, which I think are kind of small as ice cubes go. However, they're still so big that they don't easily go in here and they kind of get stuck as you try to put them in. I've found I have to put water on top of the ice cube until the ice cube melts a little bit and then it drops in. So I have 2 ice cubes in so far. Alright, so I got 3 ice cubes in there by running water before it started overflowing.